Alright, doing a Grim Batol plus 10 tonight. Playing Arcane Bear. I'll show talents real quick as we're running the first pack. You can screenshot that if you guys want to. I'm running a no incarnation build.
Watch your step.
And we're playing Elun's Chosen.
Knocking back.
The big thing that we're trying to do with this build is just get Lunar Beam back up as fast as possible. I know Blizzard tried to kill this build a little bit by nerfing Moonfire damage, but honestly, like, it still feels really strong.
Knocking back.
And we're off to the next pack.
AOE enrage. Watch your step.
So we're doing a plus 10 key here, which means we have both Fortified and Tyrannical. You can see we have the CC Orb affix from Xal'atath tonight. And being a plus 10, we have the Challenger's Peril, which makes the death timer penalty quite a bit more severe. So for every death we lose 15 seconds instead of 5, so good play is a bit more required with this
Watch your step. AOE incoming.
affix.
Enrage. Watch your step. Watch your step. Watch your step. Incoming. Watch your step.
There's nothing too terribly dangerous
Target change.
at the start of this dungeon. Like that first Drake can be pretty deadly. You have to get out of shapeshift form to get on these Drakes. That's a little bit annoying. So these Drakes give you 2 abilities. The ability that gets put on 1 does really big damage. You want to hit all these packs that have the Overseers in them at least once with everybody with Engulfing Flames. That's the ability on 1. And the other ability just, it does less damage, but you want to just kind of spread out as much as you can. You do get count credit for fully killing mobs with the Drakes, so there's no like risk or danger there. Didn't quite get as much damage on the Sleeping Drake pack there as we want to, but it'll be fine. This group's got pretty good damage.
Watch your step.
Everything else around it took a lot of damage, so shouldn't lose anybody to this. Now the actual count that you need in this dungeon is still something that I'm trying to figure out, because it feels like if you do kind of like a straight through run and skip even like 1 or 2 packs, you end up short at the end of it. So we're going to be pulling almost everything along the way.
AOE incoming. Target change. AOE incoming.
Alright, this pack's going to be a little bit tough. The Rive ability these guys do is a tank buster, so you may want to have a defensive ready for any pack with an Overseer in it, because it does hit quite hard and you take a lot of damage in the aftermath of it. Make sure you kick the Mass Trimmer there. Yes, arrive. You get 20% increased damage taken. You don't want to double pull these packs because they will offset it and stack it up, and then it'll never fall off, and you will die if you're not careful with that. There's a pack at the end that I believe has 2 Overseers in it. We killed both of them. But that is a very dangerous pack. You want to make sure that you kill those, or at least get them very, very low in health with the Drakes.
Target change.
There's one guy here, so we're just going to pull him into boss. Actually, I'm going to let those... Okay, those orbs expired. That's good. Alright, this boss, the main thing that he does, you'll see he summons Drakes that go across the platform with commanding roar here. There is a safe spot that you need to move to. And you can tell it's safe because it doesn't have the purple waves going across it. You have plenty of time to move to it. So you need to do that. The other thing it does is Rock Spike, which leaves puddles that you don't want to spend any time in, really.
Defensive.
And the Drake summon that he does kind of just goes off every like 5 to 10 seconds throughout the whole fight. I don't know the exact timing on it, but it's pretty much the whole fight that you have to deal with that. So just be mindful of that. Be careful where you place all the circles too. They go on everyone but the tank. Or I think they go on 3 other players by default.
Defensive.
Other than the tank. Obviously you have people dead. You can get that on you as the tank.
Breath incoming. Target change.
Just make sure you're getting in the safe zone every time. And you don't want to fill up any one quadrant with all of, like, too many of those so that you, like, can't move to it or through it without taking extra damage.
Defensive.
He also does have a tank buster, but it doesn't do that much damage, at least on a 10.
Breath incoming.
We are scaled to item level 626 now, which is like full hero track gear, basically.
Watch your step.
So we have decent gear on the beta now.
Defensive.
10s are not too difficult in this gear.
Breath incoming.
Honestly, the harder thing on the beta is that a lot of people will just bail at the first sign of any trouble.
Watch your step.
There's just not an incentive for people to stick around. You're not going for like a vault or anything, obviously.
Defensive.
Alright, first boss down.
Target change.
No problem so far. Alright, these trash packs can get pretty nasty. There's 3 casters in this that do... Oh, I'm not in bear form. That's what you don't want to do right there. I don't know why I wasn't in bear form there. I think I just shifted out of cat form. In my mind, I was shifting into bear form, but had my finger in the wrong keybind. So you need to kill these guys, and then the dangerous thing about this room is once you kill this pack, which is already like pretty dangerous, but as you're killing this pack, the boss starts padding. So we need to pull this group over here, and we're going to pull them way, way back. Because we want to kill them before the boss makes his way over here. In fact, I'm just going to pull them like into the hallway so they don't have any danger of pulling the boss.
Target change. AOE incoming.
Yeah, I think what you want to do is just pull this pack into the hallway here so that the boss doesn't get pulled in the first place. Thankfully we didn't lose anyone to that. We just lost maybe like 15 seconds of repositioning these guys, which is certainly not the end of the world. Alright, so we do need to wait for the boss to pad around now, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we're going to start him up here. I guess we can kill this pack while we're waiting for him to start moving. Might be the prudent thing to do. Since we will need it for count, and this will give us plenty of room to do this boss. You may have noticed as he started walking around, there's just like fire that fills up the room. So, need to be extremely careful on this boss. We'll give a warning ping on him, because this is very, very dangerous.
Target change.
We do want to fight him. We don't want to reset him again because we'll just lose too much time. But we want to fight him on our terms, not on his. As much as we can do that. Alright, we've got tons of room. I'm going to start him facing the wall. When he summons his axe, which is the first weapon he'll use, he will do a frontal. And we want to bait that frontal at the wall to maximize the amount of room that we have. This is the fiery cleave that's incoming.
Shockwave.
Unfortunately, he turned around to do it. Now that's okay. That's okay. We'll just kind of make a loop around the other way here. He's going to summon his swords next, which does a lot of tank damage. When he starts casting Molten Flurry, you want to have a defensive ready.
Defensive.
So I'm going to pop Survival Instincts, which will last for most of it. Popped it a little bit early, but we'll be able to take the last couple of hits of that.
Target change.
And then the mace, this is where things can get really, really dangerous. So first of all, he starts dropping even more fire all around the room. And then when he casts Molten Mace, he's going to do an incredible amount of damage. You need to kite him when he does this, because he gets 1000% increased melee damage. It also slows him, thankfully.
Shockwave.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna need to go across here. The gateway would have been good, but we can make it across. And I'm gonna save my other charge of Survival Instincts for these swords here. I'm gonna wait until he's actually hitting Molten Flurry to use it, so we can cover the whole thing. Okay. And the mace itself is not dangerous. It's Molten Mace. Once he starts casting that, that's when we need to run. And we have a decent amount of room to work with here. Do want to be careful that we don't pull the next pack on the side there. So I'm gonna kind of veer off to this part. And now he's back to the axe. So we should kill him while he has the axe up now.
Shockwave.
Easy enough. We probably need one of these two packs for count, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip them for now. Because we did pull one extra of the dangerous pack there. Alright, we're gonna pull... I'm gonna pull this Lava Bender alone, because these guys are pretty nasty. Actually, I'll pull these two guys with it. But we pulled the Warlocks too. Okay, this actually got really, really dangerous here. Okay, so these Warlocks do a curse. We have at least three decurses in this group. So that's good.
Shockwave.
But the curse does a decent amount of damage. It also does an insanely huge healing absorb. So we're going to need to
Watch your
remove
step.
that. Help our healer out here.
Target change. Shockwave.
And these lava bears do a massive amount of damage once they enrage. Yeah, I'm just dead here. Thankfully, there is a checkpoint
Watch your
right
step.
here. Oh, that I almost facepulled that group with. Alright, so that pull ended up being like not what you want to do, for sure. But we might be able to recover and avoid a full wipe. Now, unfortunately, I don't really have a good way to get aggro back on all this stuff as bear. I'm at least going to start taunting what I can. And as the group dies off, I guess we'll kind of naturally get aggro back here. Yeah, this area gets really dangerous. These enforcers have an enrage that stacks up. And every time they melee you, they get a stack of it. It only lasts for like 4 seconds, so you can kite them to drop it. But it stacks up every time they melee you, and they basically just end up doing like 100% increase in attack speed. So you want to avoid that. Alright, this is another double warlock pull. Decurses are very, very, very good in this dungeon. If you want to do any level of like pushing, it's going to be essential to have a couple of decurses. Because you can see like they send out so many of those curses. Like they each cast it on 2 people, so you can get up to 4 people with it. You can have it stacked up a couple of times on someone. But yeah, it just does... It's like a 5 million healing absorb, so it's almost impossible to heal it off. You just have to decurse it. The timer is going to be pretty tight here with those 6 deaths. So we're probably going to have to start double pulling stuff. Which does get a little bit sketchy. Double pulls can be okay.
Dispel change.
So when you start trying to do like triple pulls and stuff, that's when
Dispel.
things get really sideways. I need a kite to have this guy drop his enrage off. I mean, I can soothe it off too, but kiting also just means you're not taking damage for a minute, which is big value. Alright, I'm just gonna burst walls this guy so he just kind of rots out a little bit. Alright, I think we probably need these guys also, just for count. And we'll pull them with the lava bender, which may be ill-advised. Lava benders do a lot of damage. They cast Ascendance basically once they get under, I think it's 50%.
Target
And at that point they're just doing giga damage. Combining them with the healing absorb is very, very sketchy.
Shockwave.
It does save time though. Yeah, I've done a few bear keys tonight now, and I've actually really been enjoying them. Balloons Chosen is very fun to play.
Shockwave. Watch your step.
We lost our Evoker there. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have the timer on this place, but we'll see if we can at least complete it. Or at least get pretty deep into it.
AOE incoming. Watch your step. Shockwave. Watch your step.
Yeah, we lost our healer there. Yeah, this is probably going to be the end of this key. We'll see if people leave. Got stunned. Oh gosh, I keep almost running into that pack. Like we're going to try pulling that sleeping pack. Just not having to avoid it gives you so much more leeway for these two guys, which are pretty nasty. It is a triple Warlock pack, which like, this is just brutal. But I'll at least be able to soothe the Enforcer. So we soothe him on cooldown. He won't do too much damage to me. Make sure our mage gets all the way back over here. I mean, we might just have to pull these guys first because they're going to pat by the time the mage gets here. Yeah, we'll just have to pull these two back, I think.
Shockwave.
That frontal is awful.
Watch your step.
As long as we're on it with the decurses and we kill the Warlock before this guy goes Ascendant,
Shockwave.
like we should be
AOE
fine.
incoming.
Yeah, that's probably the strat for this pack here.
Shockwave.
All right, let's just pull it. We'll have plenty of room now. Just gonna need to be on it with our decurses on this pack.
Target change.
Got our little Xylotath buff there. And the pressure is off a little bit because we're obviously not timing this key. We still have 25% count left, which is just brutal. And two bosses.
Interrupt.
And the 15-second death timer really sets you back if you have a wipe. Wipes are already very punishing. But then losing a minute and 15 seconds instead of just 25 on top of that is that's hard to recover from. Get the
Target
res so our
change.
healer can drink here. And this is a double ascendant pull, so what you want to do is mark one of them.
Shockwave.
Make sure you don't make them both ascend at the
Watch
same
your step.
time. Which is hard to do.
Shockwave.
You really want to try to focus damage into one of them. Because if they both go ascendant at the same time, it's like... It's just huge group damage.
AOE incoming. Watch your step. Shockwave.
We're killing the other one first here. Yeah, like if these guys both go ascendant at the same time, it's like someone's just gonna die for sure. Another res here so our healer can drink. Alright, Draga Shadowburner. This boss is, I think, the one that's most similar to the Cataclysm version. He still does the invocation of Shadow Flame. You need to kill the ads. I don't know if this is like every time, but I feel like recently he's always summoned the first one on top of himself. Our group should have no problem killing the ads, though we have 3 ranged DPS. There is a decurse that goes out. It's less important than on other fights, it's just a slow. It can be pretty dangerous if it's on the same target as the invocation of Shadow Flame the elemental fixates on. He still gets down to 1 health and then goes and jumps on the Drake. One noticeable or notable difference is that he will summon 2 elementals in phase 2 of this encounter. There's also like your standard dragon abilities. I don't remember what the dragon did in Cataclysm, even though I did this place relatively recently on Cataclassic. It's been a couple of months probably. But there's a dragon breath you have to avoid. There's tornadoes that spawn. There's a knockback too, and you can get knocked off the edge. You can see there's a couple of shadow elementals spawning. And you do need to kill them before they get to their targets, or you will die.
Target change.
These tornadoes actually hurt quite a bit if you get hit by them. So you want to avoid that as much as you can. And once the dragging is to 50%, this fight's over. This is the easiest fight in the dungeon.
Run.
Oh. We lost our mage. Got him back up though. So I'm definitely not abandoning Prot Warrior. Prot's going to be my
Target
main.
change.
But I think doing some Guardian Keys this night is really making me a believer in the Guardian Druid meta in Season 1. Like, this tank is just so good. And bringing a decurse on the tank is actually going to be huge for Season 1 dungeons. Alright, this pull kind of sucks. It's another double Warlock pull. It also has an Enforcer.
Dispel.
Yeah, Druid's got really strong utility and is just in a really good spot tuning wise right now, which is not always the case for Guardian going into a new expansion, but I don't know, pulling these together was probably not the best idea I've ever had. We'll see how it goes though.
Knocking
I like
back.
experimenting a little bit on beta. We're going to be taking significantly more shadow damage until this debuff falls off.
Knocking back.
And the Drake does do some shadow damage, but it's going to fall off before the next Umbral Wind here. So, oh no. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you got to watch the knockbacks in this place, because you can fall off, as we just almost showed.
Target change.
We might actually have enough count.
Watch your step.
We might have done just enough. Skipping 2 packs in the middle of the dungeon and pulling like literally everything else along the way. I guess there is one like hidden Drake that we did skip that you can summon.
Watch your step.
Alright, I'll get the res for the sake of our healer here.
Watch your step. Watch your step. Target change.
Yeah, I think we have just enough count.
Watch your step.
So these little ads, when they spawn, they give you this shadow wound debuff, which increases your shadow damage taken. It's also a mechanic on the boss fight. It does fall off relatively quickly, but it puts you in a lot of danger until it does. Because these guys, all the big damage they do is shadow. So, also, if you get hit by these swirlies, it's not a damage effect; it's a mind control effect. So, our mage got clipped by one right there. So you do want to watch out for that.
Watch your step. Target change. Watch your step.
Especially if you're tanking, getting hit by that mind control is pretty brutal for the group. Basically guarantees a wipe. We can reset our sated buff here. Okay, nobody rat on me. I didn't have my health stun bound this whole dungeon. Alright. So this boss is going to summon a bunch of tentacles all around the room.
Watch your step.
If you get hit by them, you get stunned and probably die because they do a lot of damage and there's lots of other crap that's going on. And Shadow Gale is very different from what it was in Cataclysm. It starts as this huge circle around the room and it kind of closes in. You can kind of guesstimate where it's going to close in on as you see it like spawning. And then once you get in the middle, he's going to put a debuff with a circle on 3 people. You need to spread it out and leave a safe spot for the 2 who don't have it. And then he summons a bunch of those little ads. They're the same ads. Oh, I got sent right into one of those. That's the other thing you gotta watch out for. His Tank Buster does a knockback. You can get knocked into the tentacles, which will almost guarantee... I mean, I guess it doesn't guarantee a death, but it puts you in a really, really dangerous spot.
Find shelter.
Yeah, the tentacles on this fight are just like... pretty annoying. You can clear them with immunities, so having like a rogue or a hunter or a paladin in this place can be pretty valuable. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. Okay.
Target change. Defensive. Watch your step.
Okay, we got everybody up now, but this fight just does not get
Find
easy.
shelter.
There's no break once that first set of tentacles goes out, because you just have like so many just overwhelming the group. We're gonna have to kind of weave through them here. And then like when your safe spot is filled up with them like this,
Defensive.
yeah, we got hit by another one.
Watch your step.
It's hard to see like where you're getting knocked back to.
Find shelter.
And like at the end of the fight, there's just not a safe place to get knocked, you know? Oy vey. Yeah, okay, I'm probably gonna die here because I got stunned in the Shadow Gale. Okay, I do have a little bit of a safe spot to stand here. Alright, somehow we survived. Big props to our healer who has no mana.
Defensive.
Yeah, and we died to the Tank Buster there, which does an incredible amount of damage. Oh, and we're 99% forces, by the way. we literally skipped 2 packs, and we're at 99%. That feels pretty awful. As you can see, though, we're doing 600k overall damage. Moonfire's 31%. Thrash is a big portion. The Thrash Dot is a big portion. Lunar Beam is 10%. We do have an AUG Evoker, so that skews things a little bit. Get patched up, make sure we repair.
Watch your step. Find shelter.
I really think they need to tone down the amount of tentacles that spawn, or make them have a timer. Like, when the next wave spawns, the first ones disappear. That would be somewhat fair, I think. Because, like, you get into... Like, this is a tyrannical boss, right? You get 5 minutes into it, and there's just nowhere to stand.
Defensive. Watch your step. Find shelter.
It's also really hard to see like where you're actually supposed to go. Okay. Don't want to do that, but we did it. I thought I was avoiding that. I literally can't see. Okay. Yeah, this is a really, really badly designed boss, in my opinion. I wouldn't be upset if they just straight up removed the tentacles from the fight. Like, ugh. Alright, third time's a charm, right?
Watch your step. Find shelter.
It's gonna be kind of in this direction. We are blessed to not have too many tentacles in this one. But yeah, not having anyone to free you of those
Target
feels
change.
really, really bad.
Defensive.
So you have like a rogue or a paladin or a hunter or even a DK, like you can
Find shelter.
just at least clear them around where you need to go. And that does make a pretty big difference in this fight. Like here, there's like there's like 3 of them under the boss.
Defensive.
And the fight goes on and there's just more and more. Alright, so with Bear, if you spam Wild Charge
Watch your step.
as you're getting knocked back, you can kind of avoid a far tentacle getting you in this fight.
Find shelter.
Got the B-res off there. We lost our mage. We have one more B-res. I'm gonna get him up.
Defensive. Target change. Watch your step. Find shelter.
Alright. So we run back to kill one more trash mob. I'm gonna tell Blizzard this boss sucks. Oh man. Alright, now we gotta go pretty far back in here to get more trash too. Which really sucks. Alright, there's a Drake that'll spawn right here. This is the closest thing to kill.
Knocking back.
Just make sure we don't get knocked off. We pull this guy back toward our checkpoint, I guess.
Knocking back. Knocking back. Target change.
Alright, we completed it. Did we really get 0 points for... No, I didn't get 0. Got something for that. Maybe we did get 0. Oh, that's awful. We'll take a look at our damage breakdown here. So yeah, Moonfire 31%, Thrash 15% with the dot being another 7.5, Lunar Beam 9.5%. Anything else of interest? Thorns of Iron, the Fury of Elune procs actually do a little bit of good damage there. And just once again, these are the talents we're running here, if anyone is interested. Yeah, not a terrible dungeon. Obviously, we were over the timer, but we were able to complete it. Everybody stuck around. So, did I not actually get loot there? There we go. Yeah. So that's Grim Batol on a +10. I think there need to be a few adjustments to a few things, but not a terrible dungeon. The last boss is going to be an absolute bug breaker, I think. Alright, well that's going to be a wrap for this video. Thanks everyone for watching. Check you all on the next one.